In case anyone missed the tutorial this week, I just wanted to briefly go over how to read face diagrams, because this will be an important skill and can really help you make the connection between what is happening in your mouth and what's actually going on with sounds. So there's three things you should look for in a face diagram. The first part is the vocal folds. Is it vibrating or is it not? If it's vibrating, like in this example, then this is going to be a voiced sound. If it's a straight line, then it will be a voiceless sound. The second thing to look at is this area right here to check to see if it's nasal or not. In this case, it's nasal because there's a little opening. So if you were to draw airflow from the lungs, you would be able to get airflow through this nasal passage out of the nose. The third thing to look for is where the articulators in your mouth are acting. So this could be your lips, your tooth in your lip, maybe it's your tongue in a different position, but that will tell you the place and also the manner, which you'll learn about in the pre-lecture video as well as in class on Wednesday. So in this case, we see that the lips are completely shut tight. So this is going to mean that the sound is bilabial. And more importantly, because the lips are completely shut together, if you were to draw airflow out, you would be stopped in this place. So we would call this a bilabial stop. So if we were to put all these descriptions together, we would end up with a voiced bilabial nasal stop, which is the sound M, or mm. Now, if you're not sure what a stop or a fricative is yet, don't worry, that's covered in the pre-lecture video. Watch that, come back to it, or maybe you'll pick it up from the diagrams. So I'm going to go through each of these in turn, just so you do have solutions. So the one on the left, what do we notice? Well, we have some vibrations here, so this is going to be a voiced sound. If we take a look at the nasal passage there, it's closed, so it's not going to be a nasal sound, so we're not looking at or And where's the tongue involved? Well, it's really close to the alveolar ridge here. So this is going to be an alveolar sound, but it looks like air can go through. So this is going to be an alveolar sound that you can hold. And we're only going to do face diagrams for stops and fricatives, so we can say that this is an alveolar fricative. So this is a voiced alveolar fricative, which gives us zzz, the Z sound, zzz. Taking a look at the one on the right, similar idea here. So we take a look at the vocal folds. They're not vibrating, so this is going to be a voiceless sound. The nasal cavity is closed off, so it's not going to be nasal. And the tongue is touching the alveolar ridge, so air is going to get stopped right behind it. So this is going to be an alveolar stop. So what's a voiceless alveolar stop? That is T. The T sound, T. Okay, let's take a look. We have three remaining sounds, so let's go into the bottom left one. So here's the one on the bottom left. What are we looking at? Well, it's going to be voiceless. There's no vibration. It's going to be non-nasal because we don't have access to the nasal cavity. But there's nothing happening in the mouth. So in this case, we can make an assumption that what's happening is something in the glottal area. So if you see a chart like this, I would accept either a glottal fricative or a glottal stop. So you have two choices here. The preference is H, but I would also accept the glottal stop like in O, so that O sound before that vowel. If it were a glottal stop, there would probably be some sort of drawing there that would show that there's vocal folds that are, closing temporarily just to prevent that sound or that air from getting through. In the bottom middle one, same idea. So we can take a look at the vocal folds. This is going to be voiceless. Nasal cavity is closed off, so it's not nasal. We see the bottom lip and the upper tooth touching. So this is going to be a labiodental sound. Thing about these labiodental sounds in face diagrams is that you can't really draw where the air is going through because it's going through the sides or maybe between or around your teeth, but this is a fricative. You can hold these. We don't have any labiodental stops in English, so you can make the assumption that this is a labiodental fricative. It's voiceless, so this is going to be the F sound. Finally, the last one here. Let's take a look at it. We have some voicing here, so this is going to be a voice sound. And what's the tongue doing? Well, first check the nasal cavity, it's closed off. And the tongue is between the two teeth, so we're looking at an interdental sound. Same as the labiodental sounds, you can't really draw in this 2D plane how the air is escaping, but this is another example of a fricative. We can hold this. It's a voiced interdental fricative, so it's th. So this is going to be this symbol right there. So hopefully if you missed tutorial or if you just wanted a refresher on how this works now that you know terms like stops and fricatives, this was a good way to help you out. If you have any questions, as always, you can ask on Discord or Canvas or email, wherever you can get a hold of one of us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions.